What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to make a bit of a different video than usual, and this is based actually on a coaching call I had yesterday with one of my students. And if you are surprised, by the title, then I hate to break it to you, but it is actually true that most people who are starting SMMA are not succeeding. And at this point, I think there are a few factors that have to do with that I wanted to share. Because at this point, I also think it's doing a lot of people actually more harm than it's doing good. So I kind of wanted to break it open to you guys, and I think it's going to help a lot of people who are still struggling of landing their first client or actually scaling their agency. In fact, most of the stories that you see on about SMMA, it's really just like the news, right? It's the news actually, from all the information that's out there every day, the news is very selective of filtering out the bad or the worst things that have happened in the world. And if you watch the news, you are absolutely thinking, oh wow, the world is really bad. And it's the same actually what happens with what I see with SMMA. Only success stories are being shared, and that causes a huge bias in terms of people who are starting SMMA with the expectations that you are going to make money within 2 months or within 2 weeks. And the truth is that most people don't. Most people don't land their first client within the 2 first months or the first 2 weeks. Most people take a lot more time than that. But what happens is that, because people then start to feel bad because they feel like everyone is succeeding except them, that they start to feel demotivated or they start to actually quit. And that's purely the reason why most people don't make it in SMMA, which is why I actually want to share this to you, because I think, at the end of the day, it's really about your own journey, and it's not about comparing yourself to others, because you don't know what they've done and you don't know what made them successful. Now, I do want to say that by now I actually have seen quite a few success stories, which is awesome. And like I said, more actually stories also of people who are still struggling or who quit. And I do see that there are some factors that are really going to accelerate your success that I want to share. And number one, this is also based upon my own success, because I started my agency and within 5 months I hit 6 figures. And I see that also with my boyfriend, who's very successful with his agency. Both of us, we had already an existing sales experience when we started with SMMA. And we built a lot of sales experience throughout that. He did a sales job for an info product. I did actually telemarketing for NGOs. But what really, I already had 6 months experience of telemarketing and talking with people on the phone every single day, about if they want to give $2 for charity. And so from that, there's huge communication skills that I already had developed when I started with SMMA. And that made that I was able to land my first client within the 2 first weeks when starting. And this is what I see with a lot of people who are succeeding really fast with SMMA. They already have a very good existing communication skills as well as sales skills. So any tip for, if you're starting out, what I would really advise you to do, if you don't have any sales experience yet, and your environment or your current situation allows you to, really take either, actually I would say a part-time job in sales, because it's really going to help you, accelerate your own progress with your SMMA. And once you landed your first client, you can even stop that job or anything, but it will really help you to accelerate that process. Now, another thing that I also think is good to share is that people who are very successful very fast with SMMA, they have worked tremendously on their mindset. And this is also something that I see a lot of people do, right? They buy a course and they think that the funnels and the scripts are going to change their life. And people who are successful really understand that they are the only ones who are responsible for their current situation. And how they are currently makes that they are not successful yet or at the place where they want to be at or who they want to become. And So it is like, and also for myself, you know, even though I say that I succeeded within 5 months with my SMMA, truth is, already a year and a half before that, I was trying like Amazon FBA, and you know, that failed with a lot of things, lost a lot of money. But that also, like that entire year and a half, I was already working really, really hard on developing the right mindset, like by reading books, by listening to podcasts, by you know, taking coaching or anything of that sort. And I think, you know, that's also like tremendously important if you want to start with SMMA. It's not that if you buy a course, you know, you're going to change your life in 2 days time. You have to change yourself. And once you change yourself, it's going to reflect in changing your business and in your finances and where you want to go at. And I think that's also one of the things, you know, a lot of courses don't provide any mindset type of stuff, but that's what you really want to develop on the side. If you start with SMMA, work on your mindset, work on your limiting beliefs, work on creating an abundant mindset and not like necessarily in living in scarcity or any of that. And know that there are a lot of like businesses, you know, clients waiting for you to actually work with you for your social media marketing. So I would say, you know, to kind of like wrap it all up, there are like 4 things that I think will really accelerate your process or like your progress in SMMA. Number 1, it's to really develop your soft skills instead of, you know, hard skills. So don't take necessarily courses on Facebook ads or funnels or automating processes, but really work on your sales, work on communication, and like really practice a lot by doing everyday outreach or taking a sales job on the side. Number 2, it's, you know, work on your mindset every day. I would say like try to create a good morning routine where you start to meditate for yourself, where you read for yourself, and where you really like work on just your mindset and having high energy. And because that's also like just one thing I want to share like really quickly. I don't necessarily, and I really want to emphasize on that, I don't necessarily think that, you know, the gurus and the teachers out there are like trying to sell you the dream with the intent just to take your money. I think there's actually also really good intent, because at the end of the day, it is very important that you believe in yourself and that you might even, you know, set higher expectations for yourself than you feel comfortable with. Like that's what my first course has done for me, like what the people have done for me. Like I started to set really high expectations, and I actually like met them, and I thought that was never realistic, you know. So they actually, I do think there's a good intent for, you know, people who are telling you that you can do it in 2 months or 3 months or like 2 weeks time, because it makes you actually take the action. But at the end of the day, just realize that if you have not met that deadline or like that goal, you know, to land your first client within 2 weeks, just know that there are no unrealistic goals, there are only unrealistic deadlines. So just to emphasize very clearly on that. And so, like the last insight, you know, don't compare yourself to others if you're starting SMMA. Never compare yourself to the journey of the others. You don't know what they've done. You only know what your current situation, you know, how you can improve every single day by taking action, by learning, by improving your own skills, by improving to learn, you know, yourself and who you want to become. And that is really going to accelerate your progress, because at the end of the day, you don't want to compare yourself to others. You only want to learn from others who are successful, and, you know, try to implement that in your own life. Guys, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know down below, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.